You don't even have to have the product. You don't even need to buy the product. You don't even need to have the capital. You can go in there and say, you know what? I want to be able to sell for you. Here are my track records. I don't need a single salary from you. All I need is better commissions. You will be able to get opportunity just like that. Make sense or not? And it doesn't matter, right? Wherever, which part the world is. You can even get something from somebody else online and sell it online as well. Make sense or not? Right? And that is why, right, I always tell people, focus on sales. Focus on getting damn good at sales. And you can be good at business. You can be good at your opportunity. Opportunity will come to you if you are damn good at sales. So question is, right, which is your level? Okay, and we're going to talk more about it tomorrow. And today, right, I'm going to share with you also, during this training, I'm going to share with you a way to get minimum 100 leads in a few hours without using paid advertisement. And I know, right, maybe I'm just guessing lah, but how many of you having leads problem? Type in me inside the chat box. Like you don't know where to get leads. Okay, seems like most of you, right? Now it's very, very normal to have this problem. Okay, and today, right, what we're going to do is that we're going to take out the smoke screen. We're going to go behind the scenes and see what actually matters. So what you're going to learn, right, is not something so common as, hey, go and get more leads. Not those common advice. Oh, go and meet more people, go to networking event. No. It's going to be something that really matters and something that you haven't even think about, right? The moment you see how it turns out in those mathematical equations that I'm going to be sharing with you, you're going to have full clarity on how actually this affects your outcome and your income as well. All right? So, here's the thing. The secret sauce to learning all this, right, and to be able to actually get hundreds of leads in a few hours without using paid advertisement is this. It's all about opening up this mind of yours, right, to other possibilities in the same situation. Make sense? Because you see, right, a situation that's gone through by two people in the same situation, one person could potentially look at the opportunity that's in that situation. Another person in that same situation could be looking at the problems only. Make sense? But this person that is looking at the situation as an opportunity, right, if they are aware of it, then they'll be able to look at it easily, right? And if they're not aware, somebody has to point it out. So here's the thing. As you're going through the training here today, some of you may be aware. Some of you needed to be pointed out. When I point that out to you, right, you start to see and feel and realize that it is actually easier to always have an opportunity to be pointed out to you instead of you finding on your own. Makes sense, right? So I'm going to share something also. If you got any type of lost customer, now, quick question now. If you're here, right, for the second day, you're in for a treat already. Now, how many of you got lost customers? Lost customer meaning, right, you go and approach the prospect or your customer or your friends that they haven't buy yet, but in the end, right, they didn't reply you, they refused to talk to you, whatever, they lost already one. You have a lot or a little of this? Okay, so if you want to be able to get back to them, right, very simple. Stay until the very end, until the assignment, right? At the assignment, I will give you one assignment to do today that will require you to send a message, and that message is going to be able to get you connected back to your lost clients. Some of you are going to probably, right, by tomorrow, going to get some closed deals, going to get some kind of appointment, going to get customers saying sorry. Some may not reply at all. It depends. There's many, many different types. But the most successful students that I have, right, I think it's because of their relationship with the customers. They get up to 80% that reply them. Some even get 100% that reply them. Alright? So, sit down, take a chair, focus, and pay attention. Alright? So, the next we're going to be sharing and learning is the rest of this Maverick mindset. Okay, I'm going to be covering a few today and learning more a little bit about this. And I want you to have this clarity and this new belief, so when you have the right strategies that I'm about to point out to you today, right, you start taking the right action. Okay, so are you ready, everybody? Yep, ready? Okay, cool. Now, I've got a lot to share with you today, so I may not be able to answer a lot of your questions. Okay, if I'm able to, I will, but I think, there's no time for questioning. So I want to pass down some of the things to you as simple as possible, alright? So, just to remind you again, right, congratulations. Why? Because all you need to do to get a private invitation to an advanced session with me is to attend 2 more nights. Today is the second night already. Yeah, we left 2 more days only. So fast, right? From first day, waiting for the event for first day, and then second day, and then now tomorrow is the third day already. Okay? So cool. So if you promise to go through this, you will also do all the homework, and you've done the homework already, you will also get a certificate. Okay? Now, yesterday we learned about this sales formula, alright? And how you want to be able to increase your sales is to get more customer, to increase your closing and conversion rate, to get the customer to buy in, or to get the customer to buy more, or to get the customer to buy again. Alright? So these are the 4 ways in clarity, full clarity of the things that you can actually do and need to do. Nothing else besides this to increase your sales. Alright? So today we're going to look at the first part of the equation, which is the opportunity, and the advice that we always get is to get more customers. Alright? So once you learn this next framework that I'm going to show you today, right, which is this one, the 3-step framework, you're going to be having an easier time getting customers to come to you, and also you're approaching customers, knowing where to get your leads, comparing to the people who are not showing up in this training today. Alright? So before we start, right, before I show you the truth behind like how you want to get a lot of leads, remember we must always get what first? The 3 steps that we need to do before we get any activity done, before we get any strategy done. What is it that we need to do first? Before we figure out, okay, what's the strategy, what's the activity, what's the first thing we must do?
Lead.
Forget already. No, right? Okay, it's clarity. Very good. Okay, so we need to get clarity first. So again, where does clarity come from? Either you get it from other people who has been through and done that, either you experience it yourself, alright, or either by learning some of the things that you don't know, alright. Now, in order to get clarity about prospecting, right, so I want to share with you this word first, prospecting. Now, how many of you, right, feels like this word is very foreign to you? Like, you know, this word is very big. Now, you're not alone. I'm also feeling the same thing when I first started in sales. Because when I first started in sales about some 18 years ago, 18, 20 years ago, right, selling mobile phones, like I mentioned yesterday, I didn't know what the word prospecting means. Alright? All I know, what I need to do is that when I was sitting at the counter, I need to wait for the people to come. And when the people come ready, I talk them into buying. That's it. That is my strategy. That is my system. And a few years later, as I mentioned yesterday, I got a sales job as a sales manager, right? Selling luxury furniture, and I work because I want to sell higher ticket items, bigger price items, so that I can get higher commission. And I went to sell this, alright? But when this time come, right, I was still waiting for people to come to me, because it's still a retail shop. So, by the way, right, the difference with the mobile phone counter is that these items are very expensive, so there's not many people walking in. So at the start, right, I thought was like, okay, honeymoon, quite relaxing, right? Because not many people come in, so I can sit around, do nothing, right? One day maybe got 10 people come in. First 1 week, okay. First, second week, okay. Then after that, the first few months came in already. Okay, about 2-3 months. I panicked because I haven't get any commission because I was waiting for customer to come. And then, right, that was before I met the boss that I mentioned to you yesterday. They showed me the clarity and the right direction, right? I didn't realize that I was using a bad system all this while, right? Which was built upon me waiting for other people, which is the bad habit that I get from my previous experience, okay? And the worst thing is that I don't even know that this experience was bad to me. And I kept waiting for customer to come, right? Until when I started my own business selling electronic darts machine like this, where I put into lounge, bars, and pub, right? Distributing this electronic darts machine to all the businesses that need it. And when I started this business, right, well, I partnered with somebody who has experience managing his fastest business. But by the way, right, before I continue, anyone seen any of this or not? You been to any sports bar? Right? Right now it's out of trend already. Last time there's a lot, okay? Last 10 years ago, okay? So, when I started this business, right, I partnered with somebody who also has some kind of experience, right, managing his father's business, which is selling those kind of blinds, right, Roman blinds, wooden blinds, alright, those kind of curtains. So he told me that he has many experience of doing sales as well. And then, right, when we started, actually, right, he taught me something that changed my entire perspective on sales and about business and about how simple it is to make money. And most of the time, right, when I listen to that and I think back on what he said, right, I tend to overcomplicate by thinking too much. Now, how many of you feel like, right, whenever you try to do something new, you keep on think until to the point, right, you don't even take action on it? Yes? Do you feel like you sometimes overcomplicate stuff? Yeah? Think must have this, must have that, must have this, must have that, do this, do that, right, until to the point you don't even take action. Just because you say, oh, I'm not ready yet, this is not ready, I don't know this, I don't know that. Yeah? Too much thinking. So, same like me. This is when I found out, right, there's actually two ways of doing business sales. Means getting business done, getting the sales done. You see, right, if we have a business, right, we need to get the business to make money, right? Okay, if you want to make money in the business today, if we want to make money in the business, right, we need customers, correct? And when we need customers, right, either the customer can come and find us, pass us the money, get something from us, or we go and find the customers. Make sense? Right? So, my friend, right, my partner asked me this one thing. Okay, distributor in Korea for the manufacturer. Right? So now, the first thing we got to do is to get customers. We don't even wait for the stock to come in first. But Aaron, there's only two ways. Right? We either can wait for the customer to come, or we go and find customers. And he asked me, Aaron, which one you want to do? Then I was like thinking, this feels like a little bit trick question now, because all this while, right, my habit and my system was I waited for customer to come. Then I get a little bit smart saying, this must be a trick question. Then I asked him, which one is better? Then he said, wrong question. You should ask, which one can get us to success faster? Then I said, obviously find them, right? If we go and wait for customer to come and find us, they also don't know about us. How can they come and find us? Agree or not? Yep. So you see, sometimes, right, it's all about asking the right question to ourselves to find the right answers. And sometimes we need other people to point it out to us. And that's why it's so important, right, to have somebody, a coach, a mentor, right, to ask you the right question, right, so they can formulate the right answers. Make sense? Right? And then this partner of mine, right, just like my mentor also, so it was like saying, customer, and we do the same thing like everybody else is doing, means we give the same package, we sell the same way, we do the same services, right? If you're no different with whatever the market is giving at this point, right, that means the other people won't see us as the right choice. So, me and him, right, we came up with a system where we look for customers that help us, right, to distribute to 200 outlets, 200 shops, taking 2 to 3 machines each at each outlet in first year of our business. And this system, right, is so fast that we climb from the 4th place, because we are the only fourth distributor in Malaysia, climb from the 4th place to the 2nd place in just 1 year. Other people has been there for 2 to 3 years, right? And these are things that other competitor is not using, because they thought it was really troublesome to do this new system, right? And I'm going to share with you what is that in a little while, right? Because there's a lot of details about this, creating this new system, right? And a lot of details that you have to manage with other people. I can share with you in a minute, but here's the thing, system that can apply to any single industry, right? What happened was, in our first order that we sold, not while waiting for the stock to arrive to Malaysia. And this is also the business where I did personally, right? By the 3rd year, I did an 11 million deal, my first 8-figure deal, personally, in a coal market, right? Within 3 years, we managed to grow the business to above 10 million. Now, how many of you would agree, right? Growing the business from 0 to 8 figures, right, in the first 3 years is pretty amazing. How many of you would love to do that if you have a business, or if you open a new business in the future? And yes, we are able to pay ourselves handsomely. That's just a byproduct of getting the business there. Makes sense or not? Right? If your business is making 10 million in cash flow, right, every single year, can you afford to pay yourself 2 to 300,000 every single year? Obviously, you can, right? Make sense? Okay? So, and we are able to do so, right, because of this one maverick mindset that I'm going to share with you next, right? I want to start with this first, because this is some of the most important mindset of all right? Which is, write this down, the second one. you need to do what others don't do. You need to do what others are afraid of doing. Right? Because when we are talking to each other at the time, right, he said that we need to do the things differently from other people. That's why we look for the things that is hardest to do, that is the most risky, that is the scariest to do. And we don't care about whether it's scary or not, we go and do it. Because we know if the thing is scary and hard to do, that a lot of people don't do it. Make sense or not? Right? And this is one of the most game-changing beliefs that I ever had in my life. And because of that, right, I ended my poverty cycle in my family. And I'm the first in my family to reach the millionaire mark. Make sense? I broke the entire chain of poverty. Okay? And I'm also the first, right, that actually got an unlimited cut from the bank. Okay? Means no limit, right? So here's the thing. It's very simple. What you want to do right today is find out, especially in prospecting and sales, find out all the hard things that people usually avoid doing. Maybe people don't do cold calling, you go and do. Maybe people don't do cold approaching, you go and do. Maybe people don't do cold messaging, you go and do. Because everybody would just like to wait for customers to come. Agree or not? Yes? How many of you here have heard of your friends that are actually actively going out and meeting customer and finding customer one? Very little. Some of you could not be actively looking for them. Some of you could be sitting without any customer for months and months. Yes? Because these are the things that people usually do. Because it's hard to do those things. Makes sense? So what happened is, I just need to look at what are people afraid to do, and I go and do that thing. So I take this philosophy, right, and put it in my life as well, not just in sales. Same with everything I do in life, right? And this helps me to put me ahead of the game, ahead of life. So, although I started quite late with this kind of principle, right, but I'm happy I did, because I want you to write this down. Sometimes you think you're too late to do stuff, but remember, it doesn't matter where you start today, but it matters what you do today, so that it matters where you finish. Make sense? Because if you do not start today and to change your ways, right, if you keep on using the old ways, can I ask you, how long have you been using your old ways? Chances are maybe 5 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and nothing has been happening and nothing has been changing. You're not getting to where you want to be financially or freedom in your life. Then the question is, why would you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? You know what is that? That is what we call crazy. You know the thing not giving you the result, right? You keep on doing it again and again and again, right? Make sense? So here's the thing. How I apply it in my life, right? So that I can get different results, that maybe you want to take some kind of inspiration from, is that, number one, most people do not read books. Yes? Buy books and read. Most people invest in material things. Do you think they really go and say, hey, today wake up, I want to go and buy a book? No, right? Most will wake up and try to buy things. I want to go and buy a car, I want to buy the newest phone, I want to buy this, I want to buy that to eat, right? But then go and buy big books that fit their head, fit their brain. So that's the first thing you must do. Right? Because other people are buying other material things to make sense. Because today, the maybe I work so hard, really not much income. Never mind. I feel good. But the question is, does the bag and the shoe will actually make them richer? Will it open up more opportunity for them or not? No, right? Make sense? And that's why people always mess in the wrong thing. And that's why, right, they will say, you know what, they get any good opportunity, they say, we'll do it later. But when people say I do it later, right, I will force myself to do it now. And when others wait for things to become ready, I will do it even when I'm not ready. Because you know what? When I'm not ready and I go and take the opportunity, I can learn along the way on how to do it. Because I know for a fact that other people are not willing and very afraid to take a step forward in their life. Then when I take that step forward, right, I will always be ahead of other people. Make sense? Because like cold calling, other people are afraid to make calls, I'll make sure I make the calls. Important is, 99% of people do not take risks in their life. They are so afraid of other things that could happen when they take some kind of risk, like using some kind of big money, right, to even invest in themselves. But here's the thing. If you don't take the risk, right, other people are going to take the risk, and then therefore they can get ahead of you. Makes sense? And therefore, it's a choice for you today whether you want to be the one that take the risk or be the one that don't take the risk at all and see other people succeed because of that. right? And because of it, right, you will be able to get the experience better day by day, where other people remain stuck. Makes sense or not? Right? And here's the thing: the big difference, right, of being an average person in your life with an average life, right, versus an ultimate closer who has freedom in their life, right? This is the difference. If you do what others don't, okay, this is one of the biggest different thing, right? So, like what you're doing here today, do you think other people is actually sitting down in a workshop right now on a Tuesday night, actually going through and learning something or not? Most people are not, right? Makes sense. And therefore, you're doing something different. So remain with this commitment, fulfill this commitment, and make sure, right, you follow through. Make sense? And this will give you the biggest advantage in your life, right? So you see, when I found out, right, in order to reach my dreams and goals, I gotta do what I'm afraid of. So I got really a very big epiphany, right, when I learned this from my mentor, okay? So, and he said this, Aaron, what you're afraid of, right, is probably very similar to what majority of people is afraid of. So what you got to do, right, you just got to fight for it and refuse to quit and just plow forward and take that risk. You see, right, what is the life that you are going to have? It is not worth for you fighting for it. If you feel that you're too comfortable today, right, then is that the life that you want, right? If you do things like everybody else, okay? And my mentor also once said this to me, right? To get something you never had, you need to do something you never did. And that something you never did is probably something you're afraid of. It's just making sense, everybody? Yes? Okay, so when I show you how you want to be able to get this and where you want to be able to get this, right, you have to actually do the hard things. You have to do what you're afraid of. Because most of the time you're going to say to yourself, wow, I have to approach people. I'm afraid I have to call these numbers. I'm afraid. Wow. Then you force yourself not to do it. Make sense? Even though if I show you, right, if you don't go and do it, you will never get results, right? Especially when it comes to sending the message at the end of this training day. Alright? And I want you to remember this one quote. The quickest way, right, to succeed is to find out what the majority is not doing and start doing them. Make sense, everybody? Following me so far? Okay. So here's the thing. Even with this mindset alone, when I pass it down to one of my students, Kathy, who I mentioned to you yesterday already, that she was selling BMW and she got 2 years in a row winning this top sales advisor award for this Easy Drive program, right? So here's the thing. She came to me, right, and she wanted to perform and she wanted to sell the things that people can't sell. Because she said the things that people can sell, right, everybody is